What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to take a look and a listen to Alex Lawson. He is the Executive Director of Social Security Works. Now, the reason why I want to take a look and a listen to Mr. Lawson is because he has a special interest group. And the special interest group is to reform Social Security as well as Medicare. And so it's important for us to look at these special interest groups because they're the ones that are talking to these politicians and trying to get them to move forward with different legislation when it comes to helping Social Security and helping Medicare. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so before we get started, please follow me on Twitter at the TEC Show Live, and also follow Social Security Works on Twitter. I will post the information in the comment section. I'll pin it at the very top. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to what Mr. Lawson has to say about Social Security. Here we go.
Joining us now is Alex Lawson. He's the Executive Director of Social Security Works. Thank you for being here to talk about the future of Social Security as well as Medicare. What is your group's take on what should happen with this program?
It's really simple. Social Security works, like our name says. Everybody knows no one gives us anything when it comes to Social Security. We pay for it. We see it coming out of our paychecks. It's our money. So the last thing that anybody wants is some politician reaching their hand in our pocket and stealing our money by cutting our benefits. And that's what is being debated. So we fully reject that. And the idea that there's any sort of crisis. This is not a system in crisis. If we just ask millionaires and billionaires to pay the same rate into Social Security as all of the rest of us do, then we can expand benefits, increase benefits for everyone, and have solvency into the next century. It's the opposite of a crisis. It's actually incredibly safe and a system that works, and millions of Americans know that.
Let's talk about the current state of Social Security. The Retirement Trust Fund can pay 100% of benefits until 2033, a year earlier than reported last year. After 2033, reserves will become depleted, and continuing income can pay up to 77% of benefits. Disability Insurance Trust Fund can pay 100% of benefits until 2097. You said millionaires and billionaires need to pay the same rate. What do you mean?
So right now, there's a cap on what you pay into Social Security. People pay in on the first $160,000 of their wages. After that, people don't pay in at all. So the more money somebody makes, the less they're paying into the Social Security system. And that's an accident of history. There's no reason for it. And right now, that explains the entire problem that we're seeing with Social Security. The problem is, there is a problem with Social Security. It's the benefits are too low for millions of people. But in 2033, you actually just math-wise, you have to do the whole system, and it's 80% of benefits after 2033. And so there's a 20% automatic benefit reduction because Social Security can't borrow any money. So if that's the problem, a 20% benefit cut in the future, the solution can't be a 20% benefit cut right now. And that's what Republicans are proposing. That's what a lot of experts in this town will be proposing. But they're not being honest with the American people. All we have to do, we have a decade to get millionaires and billionaires to pay into the system on all of their income, just like the rest of us, and there's no problem. In fact, we can expand benefits, increase them for everyone in this country.
You call it an accident of history that we have this cap. Explain.
It literally is just an accident of history. Like the political sausage making in this town, there's always a back and forth in terms of creating policy. That was true during the New Deal era as well. A lot of things that Francis Perkins and the other New Dealers wanted, like guaranteed health care for everyone in this country that were originally part of the New Deal, were not included. The reason, because even then there was this Republican-Democratic debate, and the Republicans were consistently trying to give less. They wanted to cut things back, and so deals were made. One of the deals, rich people were going to pay less into the system than working people. And that's the only problem that we really have to fix with Social Security.
Your argument is raise this cap on millionaires and billionaires. Earlier this week on the Washington Journal, the Mercatus Center's Charles Blahouse, a former public trustee of Social Security and Medicare trust funds, discussed proposals to raise the cap on earnings. Here's what he had to say.
It only gets you so far. And one of my nagging frustrations as a former trustee is that there's a lot of exaggeration in media commentary, social media commentary about just how much that would do. It doesn't do all that much. Even if you completely exposed if you just eliminated the cap on taxable wages and got rid of it altogether and exposed all earnings without limit to taxation, you'd only solve about 38% of the program's permanent shortfalls. Now, why is that? That's because, remember, in Social Security, benefits and contributions are linked. You pay more into the system, you earn a bigger benefit. So you wind up collecting a lot more revenue from high-income people to pay more benefits to high-income people. Now, there's a way around that. What you can do is you can say, all right, we're going to ratchet down the benefit accrual rate on the higher income end so that it's not, a big benefit windfall for them. But again, that just gets you back to the starting point, which is that there's really no way to avoid dealing with the growth of the benefit formula on the high income end. With an increase in the tax base, without an increase in the tax base, you're pretty much stuck with having to do that. So it's best to confront that up front and say we're going to have to do a little bit of each, a little bit of on the tax side, a little bit on the eligibility age side, a little bit on the growth of the benefit formula side.
Your response, what you're saying only gets you so far, about 38%.
So with all due respect to Chuck, the man is a paid liar. Nothing that he said there is actually true, and we have all the paper to show it. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Senator Bernie Sanders released a bill, and in that bill, they removed the cap on what people pay in. They asked millionaires and billionaires to pay in on all of their income, just like the rest of us do. They not only achieve 75-year solvency, they also increase everybody's benefit in this country by $200 a month. It's simple. This man, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at Chuck, he's not being honest with the American people. He's making it seem like the only choice to address the problem of a benefit cut in a decade is to cut benefits now. That's not a solution to the problem. It's just the problem sooner. And then his math is not correct. You can check the CBO's math. I'm sorry. You can check the actuary's math on the Sanders-Warren bill and see that it achieves 75-year solvency.
Does it do that by delinking benefits to income?
Yes, it does. What it does is you just adjust the formula, which is what we have right now. The more that you pay in Social Security, the less there is of a return on those dollars at the high end, right? So that's how it is right now. You just continue that. And that is a way of making the benefits very progressive. Right now, the revenue is incredibly regressive, right? The richer you are, the less you pay into Social Security. So now all we have to do, make the revenue progressive, continue with the progressive benefit structure, and again, solvency into the next century, increase benefits for everybody. Everybody wins, except maybe some billionaires. But that's what the debate is about. The billionaires saturate this town with money. They create whole think tanks that hire former trustees to go on television and pretend like there's a crisis. There's not a crisis. The billionaires just don't want to pay their taxes.
Okay, so there was Mr. Lawson. Now, this is why it's important to have things on paper. So he was reverting back to Senator Bernie Sanders' plan, and it's on paper, and you've had actuaries look at it, and they can tell you, okay, this is what we're looking at when it comes to what the raising the cap would actually do. And then you have the other gentleman that was talking about, well, this wouldn't work. It'd be about 38%. But we don't know. We don't see a plan coming from him. We don't see anything on paper so we can look at it and say, well, he's telling the truth, or no, this is not the truth. So where's the information? Where's he getting the information from? And so that's why it's important to see things on paper. And you have some politicians right now, some senators in this bipartisan group that are saying exactly the same thing. We need to do this, we need to do that. They're not putting anything on paper. So there's no way to really research what they're saying and determine will it work. And also there was something very interesting that Mr. Lawson was saying as far as making cuts to Social Security. So do you cut now, or do you actually work something out so in 10 years there won't be any cuts at all? And so he's talking about, like, let's, and I'm just throwing this out there. Now, he didn't say this, but I'm throwing this out there. Let's say you raise the full retirement age to 70. How much of a cut is that really for the average person receiving Social Security? Because if that cut is around 20%, well, then if you wait and you do nothing and you wait for 10 years, you're going to see that 20% cut anyway. However, if you raise the full retirement age now, then you're going to start seeing that cut very soon. And so you'll have 10 years. Well, I won't say 10 years because they're going to have to gradually move the retirement age up. But what I'm saying is, if you're making cuts right now to Social Security, and that's the fear, that's the danger. If you're going to reform Social Security now, you might start making some cuts now to Social Security. And then there's no guarantee. We still don't know exactly because we don't have anything on paper. So the actuaries can't look at the information and say, okay, this is what we're looking at when it comes to, if we make these cuts, this is the percentage that we're going to see when it comes to the reforming Social Security. Will it completely reform Social Security? We already know raising the full retirement age is not going to completely reform Social Security. They're still going to need to do other things, and they might need to make other cuts. Now, when it comes to millionaires and billionaires paying more in taxes, I don't know. I don't know if that is even something that politicians are going to go for, to be honest, because a lot of these millionaires and billionaires are paying for these politicians to run for office, and they have a lot of lobbyists. These millionaires and billionaires have a lot of lobbyists in place. And so that could mean that we won't see this raising of the cap. We might see just across the board payroll tax increase. And that's very dangerous because politicians are afraid if they raise taxes on the American people that the American people won't vote for them. But I'm telling you, if we were to let people know, if politicians were to let people know, look, this is the situation that we're in. Social Security is not going bankrupt. It will see a decrease of about 23% in 10 years if we do nothing. What we would like to do is increase your payroll tax by, let's say, from 6.2% to 6.5% or 7%, whatever it is, in order to save Social Security. Are you for that? You will be guaranteed 100% of your Social Security benefits when you retire if we make this payroll increase. I think most people are going to say, yes, go ahead and do that. That's what needs to happen. Go ahead and do that because we already have 1 foot in. We've already been paying all this money for years and years. We want to see the program survive. We don't want to see the program go away. And so I want to know what you guys think about this. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.